Ms. White, you say you have no doubt when it comes to who your 4-month-old child Major's biological father is, even though you were intimate with the neighborhood ice cream man during the window of conception. You are seeking a DNA test as well as $1,846.54 in child care expenses, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Flowers, you say you have no reason to believe you are the child in question's father, and in fact say Ms. White will pin this child on anyone that has some money to give her. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. White, why do you claim Mr. Flowers owes you $1,846.54 for child care expenses?
Well, because basically I bought diapers, stroller, crib, detergent, toys. I bought everything for my son that he needs as an infant. He hasn't bought anything. The things he did buy, he took back to the store.
What do you mean?
He bought him 2 outfits and he returned them pretty much.
Mr. Flowers, you took the outfits back?
Yes, ma'am. He couldn't fit them, and he was probably would have took about 3 months for him to be able to fit the clothes.
Well, you know we buy the baby stuff a little bit big so they have room to grow.
Right.
Not 4 or 5 months too big.
Oh, well,
the summer was around the corner.
Listen, did you take the clothes back because they couldn't fit them, or
No.
did you take the clothes back because you didn't?
Because he wanted cigarettes, he didn't have no money, and beer,
You
whatever.
took the baby's clothes back for cigarettes?
Pretty much.
No.
All right.
He's
Ms.
fine.
White, you say Mr. Flowers is the father.
Yes,
You have no doubt
no doubt.
in your mind.
Somewhat doubt, but with me and Mr. Flowers,
Somewhat doubt. Tell me why you believe he is.
because me and Mr. Flowers, that's all we did was have sex. You know, that was our relationship, was based on sex. Unprotected sex at that. So.
And you
No.
were having sex with Mr. Flowers during the window of conception,
Yes.
and you weren't using protection.
No, ma'am.
Mr. Flowers, you say you have doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
And why is that?
I ain't putting no leash and collar on nobody's neck. We was doing what we do, but at the same time, if she wanted to go out and kick it or whatever it is she wanted to do, she was allowed to do it. Right?
So it was a
Because-
sexual relationship with no expectation of commitment.
Pretty much.
He had other females that he was with, so of course this wasn't going to bother him.
Did you ever tell him you were pregnant?
Yes, ma'am. I actually inboxed him the pregnancy test.
And your response was?
Nothing.
I don't
He
know.
never responded.
I don't know.
And so all the way through your pregnancy, Mr. Flowers wasn't there? No doctor's appointment?
No doctor's appointment.
When Major
nothing.
was born?
He came around like in February. I let him come back because I wanted him to see his son.
So the baby was born.
Right.
So the bottom line is when you came back and you saw the baby, did you believe Major was your child?
Yes and no, for the simple fact, I done seen it to where cat like, all right, that's my baby.
Yeah, he seen-
And then
when he
3,
seen
4
them
years
text
later, you go
messages.
have a test done, and it ain't your baby.
That does in fact happen, Mr. Flowers.
Right.
Now, how did you find out about this other guy, Mr. Flowers?
Me and Miss White, we was kicking it, and I had spent the night over there. She fallen asleep, text message come through, and man, I don't even know where to begin that, Judge. It get real
And
explicit
that's only
and
because
everything.
he wasn't
man.
around. He wasn't around.
I never said nothing to her neither, because I ain't the argumentative, fighting type of guy. I find out what it is, keep my grass cut now.
When you saw that text, that only validated your concerns and the questions you had about the paternity.
Yes, ma'am. It kicked me right in my head. I had already had doubt, but once I seen them text messages, it was on and popping from there. I already knew the deal.
Yeah, he ran with
So
that.
you think this other guy
ran
is
with
Major's
that.
father?
Yeah, could be.
And that other guy, Mr. Miles is his name, is here today. Jerome, I'd like to hear from
As it
Mr.
stands
Miles.
from me, that's my maybe baby.
Mr. Miles, thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
Ms. White has admitted that she had a sexual encounter with you, and Mr. Flowers believes you are the baby's father. Were you, in fact, in a sexual relationship with Ms. White?
Yes.
Was it ongoing? Was this just a one-night thing?
Actually, we only did it like 4 times.
So you just went out about 4 times. So
That's
this
it.
wasn't a relationship. No. It wasn't a committed relationship.
No.
Did you use protection?
I used protection the 3 times, but the last time I didn't.
Right. So therefore, you understand that there's a possibility that you could be this child's father?
Possible.
A possibility. Ms. White, how did you see the nature of the relationship with Mr. Miles?
It was just entertainment.
When you say entertainment, what do you, I mean, it's not like it's a movie.
No, because William not around, you know, he had stuff for me to do.
You ain't
We was on the ice
around.
cream truck, you know,
Run
we
and tell
kicking
that
it.
part up.
You know, we go to the house, party, do whatever. And, you know, he was somebody to have fun with.
While you're telling Mr. Flowers he's the father, did you ever tell Mr. Miles he was the father too?
No.
You was a lot.
Mr. Miles?
No, I
You
really
are
didn't.
a lot.
I really did
What
not.
did she tell you, Mr. Miles?
Right.
She had called me. We talked a little bit, and then she come talking about, yeah, it's possibly that Major could be your child. And I'm
So
like,
she told you?
Yeah. She told me that. And then I had told her, because really, actually, Your Honor, I got 8 kids, okay? All my kids look just like me, or they got some type of features. You see the baby?
That's your baby.
Do you see that baby in me? Bro,
your-
that is not my baby.
That's your baby.
That's not my baby. Look at that
That's your
baby.
baby.
He has no features,
And
no
so
nothing.
at the point you saw him and you didn't see your features, then what did you tell Miss White?
I didn't tell her at the time. I just said in my head, like, wow, this is not my child. You know what I mean?
Have you done anything for the child after you met the child? Did you try to help?
All I had bought the baby was a bag of diapers, and that's it. Normally, she got money. I don't even know why she even asked me for it, but it's $500 from where we at to do a DNA test. Now, if she would have came and said, let's go half, I would have did that. We would have worked that. But I'm looking at the baby and putting out $500 for what? You know what I mean? I could tell he's not mine.
So,
I mean,
you did buy some things for the baby.
I bought just a bag of diapers.
You bought
for the
some
baby.
diapers.
That's
and
it.
you bought those why?
If the baby was mine, I wouldn't want to see the baby without diapers.
So, Mr. Flowers, was she asking you for diapers or anything for the baby as well?
And the whole pregnancy, this is what I was going through, Your Honor. And
What
this,
is that, sir?
The whole
Ron, will you hand that to me,
text
please?
messages from her phone.
The whole time he
It's like
texted me asking for sex.
It's like this.
Wasn't about the baby.
You've handed me evidence. These are text messages
Yes, ma'am.
from Ms. White to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And the first one says, LOL, you just don't know. My child got so many men willing to do your part. The next text says, my baby need a pops that's getting money on a daily.
I ain't no drug dealer, so I ain't getting money on the daily, ma'am.
So when I text Mr. Flowers that my baby need a dad that's gonna be there, that's basically what I
No,
meant.
you said getting money on a daily.
That's gonna be there daily, getting money, being there physically,
But what I want you
financially,
to
all
understand,
that.
listen, before your texts paint you as a woman that's just looking for money in all different directions, because I ain't gonna lie to you, that's kind of what it's
And
looking
it's not,
like.
It's not.
What
that's
I
not-
want to understand is it was this man you really wanted to be the father, but you knew you had sex with this man as well.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Miles, are you in a relationship?
Yes.
This situation has been affecting this relationship?
Tearing it down. Tearing it down.
Tell me.
You tore it down.
Well, what it was, I was trying to work it out with my fiance when me and her was still kicking it.
Oh, okay. So while you were still with Ms. White,
I mean, we never had
never
no
was in a
relationship.
right, you made that clear,
no,
but
we
while
never.
you were still with her, you were trying to
Rekindle the
mend
flames with his
this relationship with your
fiance.
fiance. And now you all are back together?
Yes.
Her last name is?
Whitfield.
Is Miss Whitfield here in the courtroom today?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are?
Yes.
Ma'am, please stand. Step forward to the podium if you don't mind. I have to say, Ms. Whitfield, you don't look happy. I understand that this has really caused a lot of difficulties in your relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
You all are planning to get married.
Yes, next February on my birthday.
Please explain how this has affected you and your relationship.
Well, it's been hard. It's hurtful. She's a homewrecker.
I could never be a home wrecker
Yes,
when your
you
home
are.
was
You
already
knew
wrecked.
about me.
Your
You
home was
knew
already
I-
wrecked.
but
when
you
he
knew
was-
about me.
He was buying my ice cream though.
You
Something
knew
to my-
about
No,
me.
I did not.
You knew about
No,
me.
no, I did not know
You
nothing about you. He
disrespected
just said y'all
another
wasn't
woman. If
together.
you want to disrespect yourself, that's one thing.
No,
but you
I
also
didn't
disrespected another
disrespect you.
woman.
I did not disrespect
Another woman.
you.
You
No, I
knew
did
we
not.
were together. Despite the
No.
situation, you knew we
And
were
he
together.
knew y'all was
Oh,
together too.
he's got
But
his
he
responsibility.
came to
He
me.
needs to
Whitfield,
deal with. Yes, Your Honor.
Let me just ask you, how did you find out about the baby?
A mutual friend of ours, me and Mr. Miles were struggling with our relationship, but we were trying to work on some things, and they felt that I needed to know that possibly that my fiance was a father of Miss White's baby.
And when you found out, you confronted your fiance.
Yes, I confronted him, and he lied. He told me that it wasn't.
And
it
I'm the
wasn't
home
his.
wrecker.
And
You are.
you are.
No, I'm
because you
not.
still knew
No,
about
I'm
me.
not. No, I did not.
Yes,
You still knew
But
about
you
me.
still continue to mess with me,
lying.
and you
You
bought
about her.
Pampers
I
for my
told you.
baby.
He's gonna,
But
and
you
he's
still
taking
buy Pampers for my
responsibility for
baby.
that now.
That's
But
how I
are
knew
you taking
about
responsibility
your
for being a home
boyfriend.
wrecker?
No, I'm not.
No.
Ladies and
He did
gentlemen,
it.
ladies and
No, I'm
gentlemen,
not taking that responsibility.
Let's talk one at a time.
I could
wanna
never be a home
understand
wrecker.
this.
You don't even know who's your baby's
his
daddy.
fault.
You got two men here.
I do
Two
know.
men.
I
One of
do
them's
know,
mine.
baby.
And you can't.
You standing
can't
right
play-
next
you
to him,
can't
boo
beat
boo.
me.
That's the baby daddy.
Then why is
baby.
my fiance up there
Because
too?
he's just here.
Right.
He's
Because
just
you were
here.
sleeping with him too.
No, he just here so you can know that your man
And
ain't
your
real.
man doesn't even think that he's the
you-
daddy
I'm just
of
waiting
my
for
baby.
somebody to bring up Major. Because everybody's talking in circles. Everybody got something to say.
Well, I could definitely.
Everybody's
tell you.
finger pointing.
I could
and this
definitely
baby's
tell you.
5 months old, doesn't know who his father is. And the thing about it, you all arguing, but basically got the same testimony. You were sleeping with her, you were sleeping with her.
Pretty much, but I'm the
I
home
only
wrecker.
did it 4 times though. She was with him.
Hold on, Your
I
Honor.
don't know how.
What a
long.
fiance.
Mr. Miles, you
We was
already know
broke
it
up.
only takes once. Miss Whitfield, did you hear of anything that would indicate which
She
of
didn't
these
know
two
nothing.
men
He kept her in the dark.
is the child's father?
I don't believe he is. I hope he's not.
If he is the father, what is your plan? What do you plan to do?
I don't know.
Support
Right
my
now.
son
No.
and deal with
No,
it.
you
because
are
it's
that
the-
baby's mother. I'm
Yeah,
not.
but you're the fiance. You're
You
part
are
of
that
him,
baby's
and then he's gonna be part of him
Not
too.
hers.
So, Ms. White, you're suing him for $1,846.54 in child care expenses. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have receipts for any of the items you've purchased on Major's behalf?
Yes, ma'am.
May I see those, please?
Sure.
What do these receipts reflect?
Basically, everything I bought for my baby before he came into the world. Pampers, diapers.
That kind of claim might be right. I
Detergent.
ain't taking care of no baby that ain't mine. Period. It just ain't gonna happen.
So these are receipts for crib, playpen, stroller, clothing.
Yes.
Ms. White, so you're suing for $1,846.54. That's the amount that all of these purchases,
What's she buying? Gucci
all of
and
these
Prada?
purchases has totaled for 5 months. Well, Mr. Flowers, babies are expensive.
It's very expensive.
They are expensive. So listen. At the end of the day, he will not owe the child anything if he's not Major's biological father. So I will have to wait to rule on your suit after we have the DNA results. Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Miss Whitfield, will you go through with the marriage if, in fact, Major is found to be your fiance, Mr. Miles' biological child?
It's not about the baby. It's about he wasn't truthful with me at the time.
But your wedding is planned.
Right.
Our wedding
Your
is
wedding
planned
is-
for
But you don't know if you will go through with
She
it,
gonna wreck the
Exactly.
wedding.
depending on the result.
Depending
Thank you
on
so
the
much
result.
for your testimony. You may be seated.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think I'm ready for the results. Jerome?
It might be Bin Laden's baby.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Mr. Flowers.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
knew
Thank
that.
you, Jesus.
already knew that.
That's cool.
Ms. Whitfield and Mr. Miles, I know you are relieved,
Big relief.
but Ms. White and Mr. Flowers, you all have some cooperation to work on. But I do think, Mr. Flowers, I think you'll be there.
Yeah,
I do. So you came in with receipts totaling $1,846.54.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Therefore, since it's been determined that Mr. Flowers is, in fact, Major's biological father, you are responsible for half of that amount, $923.27.
I sure can.
Ms. Nash, you say a brief fling resulted in you becoming a mother, and you are sick and tired of raising your daughter alone. So you've opened your case today to prove to the defendant that he fathered your 7-month-old daughter, Zion Nash, so that he will finally step up. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brewer, you testify that you saw another man going in and out of the plaintiff's home at the time of conception. You claim there's no way you fathered her daughter and refused to support another man's child. Is that
Yes, Your Honor.
correct? So, Ms. Nash, has the defendant helped at all with your daughter?
No, Your Honor, not at all. He hasn't bought a pamper. He hasn't bought a bottle, not a bottle of water, nothing.
And Zion is 7 months old.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is that like having to care for a newborn alone with no help?
It's absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. The fact that he stays 2 doors down, I think that's what really just tears me up. I never can go over there and just ask him for help or anything. If I ever reach out to him for anything, I can never get anything. The most I get from him is a text message.
And that's heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking.
Look at Mr. Brewer and tell him what those tears mean.
These tears are mostly disappointment, Josh. I really just kind of expected for you to just help, you know, a little bit more. I mean, honestly, it's not any at all. So I really just expected just a little bit more from
But if you're not sure she's mine, why should I?
We had sex, Josh.
Yeah, we
It's
did.
a possibility. The possibility is what should have had you there.
Okay. And if you 85% sure, then why still do you feel like I should step up?
89.9. So that 11%, I think that's real, that's minor. That's
You said,
minor.
hold on, Ms. Nash. You said it was 89.9%.
That 11%
She
is
added
very
4
minor.
points to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
When, today?
The point is that you basically are saying you're not 100% sure.
Absolutely, yes. Because I was dating someone a month or so prior to me, you know, having sex with Josh. But I was also a lesbian for almost 13 years. So it's not like I was just out here.
So you do honor the fact that
Oh,
it is a
absolutely.
potential,
Absolutely.
very much a reality that your child could be this other person.
Absolutely.
But you believe Mr. Brewer is
Strongly believe that
the
he's
father. So, Mr. Brewer, you obviously feel like that's too much of a window for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
So take me back. How did this sexual relationship begin?
So for the most part, like I said, we are neighbors. We live in the same apartment building. It was just simply neighbor things. Hey, how you doing? Running to him in the hallway. And then it turned into personal when I ended up needing help in my apartment.
She
I'm
turned me
down.
into Mr. Fix-It.
Oh, she turned you into it?
Into it.
Well,
I didn't want to do it.
Oh, you didn't want to do
I
it.
did.
Well, I mean, that's fine. Either way, you might have not wanted to have sex either, but you did.
You right?
Anywho, I asked him if I could cook down there after we couldn't get the stove situation.
Oh, so you asked him to come over to your apartment
To
and fix the stove.
Yes, ma'am.
And then
Sure.
things really heated up. Did you seduce him,
No,
Ms.
ma'am.
Nash?
I didn't have to really work that hard.
Oh, this is getting interesting, right, Jerome? So, after the dinner, you started to have a little dessert. Did you use protection?
Clearly not, because that's why we're here.
Okay. So clearly, since you admitted there was another guy, this was not an exclusive, committed thing.
Oh, absolutely not. We never were in a relationship. We never.
So take me to the day you found out you were pregnant. How did you find out?
Well, when I found out that I was pregnant, maybe the next day I think I called him and we sat down and talked about it.
So you did?
Yes, ma'am.
How did that conversation go?
She texted me and asked me was I busy at the time. I'm like, nah, I'm in the house making me some breakfast or whatever. And she come down, I ain't got no shirt on and nothing, Mr. Sexy. So I'm just sitting there, she talking to me, and she like, I'm pregnant. She sat on the couch, I'm pregnant. I immediately told her, like, we need a DNA test. She ain't had no
No,
problem with it.
absolutely not, Your Honor. Actually, what he said was, do you want to keep the baby? That's what he said.
I don't remember saying that.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I don't remember that.
That's fine.
Okay, so you answered yes.
Yes, I told him this is a blessing. I would never get rid of my child. He let it be known instantly that he did want a DNA test. So he kind of set the tone for what I should expect.
I hear the pain behind your words.
To be honest, Your Honor, I really think that him being so close to me is what tears me up. When my baby is crying, when I have issues with her, period, I can't call him or get help from him.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So this is what I want to know. Take me to the birth. When Zion was born, obviously Mr. Brewer didn't attend any doctor's appointments with you.
Absolutely not.
And so you had this baby by yourself? Or was someone else with you?
Absolutely, Your Honor. My mother was with me, but I did text him to let him know that I was going into labor.
I don't remember that. I just got a picture.
I told him the room number. He said, I'll try and make it.
You sure that was me?
It. He never made it.
You sure that was me?
No, it wasn't you. It was
okay,
it was
you
your
heard
text
her.
message.
Okay.
So when
I don't remember what hospital she was at or nothing.
I know you don't. I know. Because you don't really
didn't tell
care
me.
that much.
You didn't tell me.
Josh, you have to walk past my apartment to get to yours. So for you to ever say you don't hear her.
So I don't check on you. I don't text you.
Through
nothing, huh?
text message, absolutely. Y'all
you
good.
be wanting your distance.
Y'all
I give you your
good.
distance, what you want.
We good.
But I told you, all you gotta do is call me.
And I never received anything from you.
That ain't true.
Okay.
So
I know
you're
it's not.
saying you did make an effort.
I did.
And the first time you ever saw a picture of the baby was after Zion was born.
After she was born, yes.
And then what did you do? Once you saw the picture, did you say, I want to meet the child, I want to figure out, let's get a DNA test? What was your response?
The first thing was the DNA test.
We still waiting on that. That's why we here.
We gonna find out.
I bet you we gonna find out.
We is.
So, Mr. Brewer, you are convinced Ms. Nash was sleeping with other men during this time.
I've seen her walk in her apartment with another man.
Okay. All right. I've
Well-
seen you walk into your apartment with men and women. I'm not assuming that you're having sex with either one of them. I'm not obligated to you.
So,
I don't have to
you
tell you.
submitted an exhibit. Please cross over to the monitor and explain
Okay.
the exhibit you brought.
Now, this is a map of our hallway. She's coming in with another man. He got it like this.
You should have said hey.
Well, I spoke to both of y'all.
You should have said hey.
I spoke to both of them.
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
You said what's
speaking
up,
back.
he said what's up. I'm looking at them, they finna get dirty. I'm already knowing.
How do you know they're about to get dirty?
I'm knowing.
How do you know that they're about to?
I know her.
Was this during the time of conception?
I think we probably had just had sex a couple days before then. And then probably had sex about a week after that.
So you see her with another man going into an apartment, and then she tells you she's 89.9%
I remember
sure
85.
you're the father.
She said.
So immediately, when you think about that other 15%, your mind goes to,
It ain't mine. That's how I'm thinking.
okay, so you go stand over by the podium because you're about to start clowning, and you know I don't tolerate this
No, I ain't
in the
finna clown.
courtroom.
I ain't finna
So,
clown.
have you developed a relationship with Zion at all? Have you seen her? Have you
Seen
held her?
I done played with her.
He's seen her.
She always smiled when
He's
she
seen
see
her approximately 5 times. I can count on my hand literally 5.
5 times in 7 months.
Including yesterday. So that made 5. You don't have a relationship with my daughter.
So you've seen her 5 times in 7 months, and you live 2 doors down. So you all have had sex more than you've seen the child.
Oh.
See, that's when we find out the priorities.
Okay. All right, Your Honor, because that's where I was at with it. I knew what I was getting involved in, but it was too late. Like, I'm not getting rid of my daughter. She is, I would have
never told you to get rid of her.
I would have regretted totally look at my baby to get rid of her. You a fool for not even wanting to participate.
You a fool for saying you 85%.
I know, but I'm honest though, and that's why I told
All right.
you. I didn't have to tell you anything.
You didn't.
Okay, so you might want to just check yourself because I did you a favor.
cool.
I did you a favor.
All right.
Well, hold on. Let's not get into all of this negativity. That doesn't even help us. This other guy, Miss Nash, where is he? Have you ever told him?
Absolutely, and we both sat down and we talked about the same thing. But the fact that Mr. Joshua has the most percentage, that's where I'm at. We're gonna start at the top and we'll work our way
But you
on
know
down.
this percentage, you developed the calculation to this. You do know
Absolutely,
that.
Absolutely. But at the end of the day,
You got to go? You checking your watch? Okay. You got somewhere to be?
No.
I didn't think so. That's rude.
I apologize.
Cause you real macho. You got all the man moves. You ain't got time. You on your time schedule. It would have taken less time for you to go to the store and get a condom than it did for you to fly here and appear in paternity court. But these are the life lessons we learn.
Yes, it is.
But we don't disrespect children. What I want to understand now is, how did you do this calculation? How do you arrive at that percentage?
I arrived there simply because they have the same features. Just honestly, she doesn't really have any of my features like that.
You submitted evidence to the court, a diagram, which you say outlines those similar features.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
You say Zion has the same receding hairline as Mr. Brewer.
Look at what he did to my baby. I don't have a receding hairline.
Feature number 2. You say
That head.
that Zion has the same round head
Yes,
as
Your
Mr. Brewer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Lastly, you say Zion sleeps with her mouth open,
Wide open.
just like Mr. Brewer. So, all of these overwhelming similarities lead you to believe
Yes, ma'am.
that this is Mr. Brewer's biological child.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
So after this evidence, Jerome, I don't even think we need the results.
Yep.
She got a round head, a receding hairline, and sleeps with her mouth open. That'll do it.
That'll do it.
Whew. Well, look, you know, I don't even think this would amount to 89.9 in any calculation. However, I do understand when you don't have the cooperation of the potential father, and I can only imagine looking at a beautiful new baby, innocent, and you are literally studying features to determine which man is her biological father. And so this other man, has he ever seen Zion?
Absolutely. He's done more for her than he's done.
But you don't believe he's her biological father.
No, and he knows that as well.
But does he believe he's her biological
No,
father?
ma'am. We both know the truth. We are here at the same lane with it.
So have y'all took a DNA test?
No, because as I stated in the beginning, we're gonna start at the top and we'll work our way down.
Oh, okay.
And then we were waiting for you to do the DNA test, you know?
He was waiting too?
No, baby. Me and my baby, we were waiting, okay?
I will say this about you both. You all have stated your case. You have stated clearly why you believe what you believe, feel the way you feel, and how you both understand you arrived in this courtroom. And I think the only thing left to do is to get the results. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Nash versus Brewer, when it comes to 7-month-old Zion Nash, it has been determined by this court Mr. Brewer, you are the father. You are the father. That's
Can I
your
have an
beautiful
apology,
little girl.
please?
I apologize.
Thank you, Your Honor. I really, really am overjoyed right now.
Mr. Brewer, your baby girl lives 2 doors down from you, and you've barely laid eyes on her. I'm sure you understand what daddies mean to little girls.
Yes, I do.
So you know you got some time to make up for. And this is serious.
Oh, I know. I know.